Hello, everyone. Good day. It is Jeffrey here with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Colorado properties right here in the beautiful Vail Valley. And, I am jumping on today because I wanted to tell everybody that, being a good realtor is also having a whole bunch of people in your system, your go-to people, your builders and your plumbers, and not just your small outfits, but your big outfits. So you can do small jobs for some people, or if they need a whole big giant system, you have one of those in your pocket as well. Also, having a designer, having an art consultant, knowing your best 1031 exchange company, all those are just fantastic qualities for your realtor to have ready to rock and roll. And there's nothing more satisfying than connecting your clients with realtors throughout the country as well, because look, they're always looking to maybe buy a new home in New York or New Jersey or Connecticut or Miami or the Napa Valley. And the Napa Valley is where this beautiful realtor comes from. This is Pavi Micheli. And so I wanted to bring her on today so you could hear a little bit about her area, where she comes from, what she does, and how she can help you. So may I introduce Miss Pavi? How are you?
I'm great, Jeffrey. Thank you. I love your energy, and I'm honored to be on here with you today. Thank you for inviting me.
You're very, very welcome. From the Vail Valley to the Napa Valley. I love it. I love it. I love it. So tell everybody a little bit about you. How long you've lived in Napa, how long you've been a realtor, and anything else our audience wants to know.
Well, I've been in Napa Valley since the early 90s. I came here right after college, actually. I had lived in Italy for about a year when I graduated. And then I'm of Italian descent, so I had been living in Italy and decided that this would be the most closely related to the Italian culture that I was accustomed to. And so I moved to Napa Valley. I got my real estate license in college thinking I would never do anything with real estate, but just a good thing to have. And then I ended up going to Arizona to get my MBA and met my husband before I left and moved back to Napa Valley. I have two beautiful daughters, 19 and 21. They're in college right now. I have one graduating in May. But between my Italian background and being a huge foodie, Napa Valley felt like the perfect place for me to stay. So I've been here over 25 years. Love it. And after I had my first daughter, I decided, why not do real estate? And it was right after 9/11. So very fortuitously, everybody seemed to want to come to Napa Valley after 9/11 from either San Francisco or either New York. We had a lot of people coming from Texas. So as ironic as it sounds, it was a great time to get into real estate.
That is brilliant. I love it. I love it. I love the fact that you are in Napa because I am an enormous wine fan. And to go from Italy to Napa, tell me, are you more of an Italian wine lover or a California wine lover now?
Well, for the past 25 years, I've come to understand that I have a house palate, meaning I probably have more of a Napa Valley house palate. My favorite right now are Pinot Noirs, I have to say. But I've also been lucky enough to be involved in the wine industry, and I have a label with my name on it. So it's a small brand, but we make Italian varietals, Pinot Grigio, Dolcetto, Montepulciano, and a little cab. And then, of course, I love desserts. So we make a Vin Santo. That's really
okay. Fun. That is super cool. So you must have the most amazing closing presents for your clients. Here's a basket of my wine.
Sometimes that's not what everybody here wants to receive. A lot of my clients are in the wine industry and they have their own label themselves, but it's fun. And it's definitely kept me well connected in the wine industry. And then for the past 4 years, I've been working with my business partner, Will Densberger, and we've been specializing in estate properties, but also vineyards and wineries. So
Okay, that's very, very cool. So
great.
what is, I mean, I know obviously you are in the wine industry, but do you have a favorite Napa winery? And if so, why? I love the fact that you love Pinot Noir. I'm a huge Pinot and Cabernet fan as well.
Yeah, me too.
But your favorite winery?
That's like asking to pick your favorite child. I just couldn't do it.
Oh, that's great. I can pick my favorite child.
Oh, no, you couldn't. Not on tape anyway.
Right.
No, there are too many. What I try to do is, if I'm drinking with somebody, I try to see what their palate preferences are. But like today's going to be over 90 degrees. I'll probably, not that I finish every day with wine, but would love either a glass of bubbles or a nice cold Sauvignon Blanc. It's usually what my go-to.
Yeah, when it gets warm, I actually find myself opening up rosé.
Yeah,
I just absolutely love how light and crisp and fruity that is. So,
yeah.
Okay, so let's jump into a little bit of real estate because
Okay.
your market is kind of a resort market, just like my market being a resort market. And we have been just absolutely going crazy. We've had this price point of, anything under $2 million really gets gobbled up quickly. We have still a shortage of inventory, although we are seeing a lot more properties come on the market now that it's springtime, which is very, very cool to see. And then, we have that 5 to 10 million and the 10 million and up that are performing. And there's a little bit more choice for our buyers in that price point. But when we're talking about trying to find an entry-level product for just our locals, it's become incredibly challenging. So I wanted to hear a little bit about your market. What's going on in the Napa Valley?
Well, as you said, I'm in Napa Valley, so that spans from Napa all the way north to Calistoga. I live in St. Helena, which is about in the center, and that includes Yountville and Oakville and Rutherford as well. Napa, I would say, is very competitive, especially from, let's say, 800 to $1.8 million, multiple offers, barely hits the market. St. Helena, where I live and I focus on primarily, there are a lot of wineries and vineyards here, but I would say our entry level is about $1.2 million here.
Is that a single family home or is that like a duplex townhome?
No, it's a single family home, probably needs some work. We just helped some past clients and they were, some of the help that they have can't afford to live here. And so they very generously purchased a home. It was $1 million. It was a small two bedroom, but recently remodeled, very small lot in probably one of the less desirable neighborhoods, but still it's St. Helena, so that it's all everywhere is pretty nice.
Right.
And that was $1 million. But our average price point here is closer to $3 million.
Okay, gotcha. Very good.
And then, the next step up, we just closed something. We had a listing in Yountville that closed over 12 million a couple weeks ago. We just wrote an offer yesterday for a $15 million property. And we have a new vineyard listing for close to 30 million. So it's kind of the whole span of things.
One of the things that has been going on a lot in my marketplace is because we are such a transient community, meaning, people come in for a quick ski vacation and the last thing they want to do is after a long day of skiing, go and look at property. And so, we kind of circle around certain properties and then they'll go back to wherever they live and they'll say, Jeffrey, can we see this house? And I will show up with iPhone in hand and get on FaceTime. And so that's kind of the way that we're showing property sometimes. And
I did that yesterday. Actually, I FaceTimed with a client in Miami. He's representing some baseball players, and this property's off market, probably 12 to $13 million. And we did a tour on FaceTime. So
how you like that? And I did the same thing yesterday with clients from Tampa, and they looked at a 6-bedroom home at $28 million. Nice. And also 2 penthouses that occupy 1 floor that they could purchase together. And that would be about an $18 million product. And so, it's amazing when you get to that level too, because, you know, if they do really like what they see just from the quick FaceTime, they can always just jump on a plane and come right into the Vail Valley and then see it in person and then make decisions
Absolutely.
that are, you know, best for everybody involved. So that is really, really neat. Now, you know, in talking about that high-end buyer or that luxury product, is there certain areas that your high-end clientele really gravitate towards? Like in Vail, we have Forest Road and Beaver Dam Road and Rockledge and Mill Creek Circle as our real high-end beachfront properties, as we call them. You know, over in the Beaver Creek area, it's more Strawberry Park and Bachelor's Gulch on Daybreak Ridge Road that have the real big homes on the very high end. What about in your area? Is there a specific kind of niche where you see?
So I would say St. Helena and Yountville are probably the two most coveted, you know, locations. And then there's a house that I went to see yesterday that was on tour for 18 million. It's at the top of Pritchard Hill, which is where a lot of the most important winery brands are. So there's Chapelet, Colgan, Brand, Ovid. And this was a property that actually transacted last year for 18 million. And unfortunately, that buyer had to put it on the market again. But it's beautiful. And it was designed by Howard Backen, who is a true legacy here in Napa Valley, but throughout the world. He's designed homes for Ellen DeGeneres, people like that. He's done a lot of restaurants and wineries in Napa Valley. So this house that was on tour yesterday is actually on the front cover of his book by Rizzoli.
Oh, that is so cool.
It's very cool.
Wow,
So it was
wow.
beautiful to walk through. He's done, you know, we've had several of his homes on the market. And actually we have his personal residence on the market right now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, you know, in this area, a lot of our clientele we see, of course, come from the tri-state area, the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. But we also have Miami. We have a huge influence from Mexico City as well. We even had a real following coming from Australia, but since COVID has hit, that has really, really fallen off a great deal. And of course, you know, California is constantly flying into town here to enjoy the cooler temperatures in the summer. But where are your clients coming from? Are they primarily secondary homeowners, or do you have more of a full-time resident?
Well, we have both. What usually happens is people test the waters and they purchase it as a second home. And then they find that wherever they're coming from, they really love the culture, the lifestyle, the pace here. Obviously our restaurants, the farm to table food, our farmers markets, we have almost every day between Calistoga and St. Helena. And then there are a couple in Napa. So people will test the waters and they'll end up moving here full time because they love it so much. And I would say, you know, predominantly San Francisco Bay, all of the Bay Area. So that includes Marin, the East Bay and Silicon Valley, and then LA, but we certainly have people from Texas, Florida, New York, and we have some international people.
Very cool. Very cool. You know, in thinking about the whole winery aspect and the homes and the estates that are accompanied with these wineries, I'm assuming that you probably do some sales in the wine business itself, where you're selling and buying wineries. Is there a big difference in the process of how a transaction transacts when we're talking about buying a vineyard?
Absolutely. It's a lot more complicated. There's obviously the commercial component of, you know, between the brand and then the vineyards, of course. So my business partner and I last year helped, we had the listing on a property on Pritchard Hill, which is what I was talking about before, where there's some amazing labels up there. And we ended up bringing in the buyer as well. And it was my client from, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. And their family office guy basically decided to, go forward on this purchase. We had been sending him the listing for, I don't know, almost a year before he decided to step up, but he didn't know anything about the wine industry. So we had to educate him. He's a very smart man, had been a professor for years. So it was a quick study with him, but we set up, the initial meeting was with vineyard managers, so he understood what that would entail. And then the next month he came out, we lined up the 5 best winemakers. So he got to know them, got to ask him questions. And he tells us now how grateful he is. We became more like asset managers, right. And, educated him from A to Z. And he said he came in as a kindergartner and left with a PhD in the wine industry.
Wow, wow.
It was a very intense, probably 6 months of just feeding him lots of information. And that particular property, it was just land. So we had to deal with erosion control plans and, mitigation on different species that were there that,
Sure. And on deals like this, it sounds like they can maybe get a little technical and a little legal. Do you bring in attorneys when you are in the process of selling a winery?
Absolutely. And both sides had their own attorneys. And luckily,
Sure.
I mean, the one that was representing the sellers is a local St. Helena attorney who my business partner and I know very well. So it was great. I mean, it worked out. They were all good people on good sides, and we're all trying to make a deal. So that's when it's really fun. It's hard work and, lots of negotiating going on back and forth, but everybody was fair. And it was.
That must have been so satisfying.
A great case study for the wine industry too.
Mm-hmm. And so is he now making wine? Have you been to the vineyard and
oh yeah, we were actually, it's adjacent to the home that I mentioned earlier
Okay.
that was listed again for 18 million. So we have been up there. So no, we haven't even planted. I say we, I feel like I'm still part of the property. They haven't even planted the vines yet. So, and then you probably know once you plant them, it takes 4 years to start producing.
Sure.
So it's a 10 to 15 year pro forma that my business partner loves to do, and he's great at doing those. Really.
Well, one of the things I heard from you is when you said we, like you were a part of it. And I think that is one of the characteristics that makes a great realtor, is when you're that involved. And that's how I feel too when I'm working with my clients, is I'm always talking about we, everything from, protecting their earnest money like it's ours, like it's mine, to, just making sure that everything goes smooth, step by step by step. And you really do, or
how you want it to go if you were making the purchase, or if you were
exactly. That's exactly right.
Try to step into those shoes. So
yes.
And we're fortunate. I mean, we become very close with our clients. In fact, just this past week, the people that we wrote the $15 million offer for, after they had lost their home in the fire a couple of years ago.
Yes.
So we helped them purchase a new property. They ended up buying adjacent to the home that they lost, but they came in there in their 70s from Ohio, and they came in the other day and said, based on construction costs and timing, we think we should just go look at this new property that we happened to see online. So we went to see it. And we did something really fun. So we showed it to them last week, spent 3 hours there. They asked their son to fly in to just make sure they weren't doing anything crazy. So he flew in. We asked the listing agent if it was okay. We ended up bringing appetizers and dinner and spent 3 hours there really enjoying it. And that kind of sealed the deal. They all really fell in love with the house. And the listing agent was like, do you do this all the time? Because that's a really good idea.
That is brilliant. I love it. I love it. I love it. And you know what? I've also done that, where, you're just like, what, guys, why don't we go and watch the sun go down on the Gore Range and watch the alpenglow just really just come to life, and sip some wine up there and really get to feel how the home lives.
See if you really connect with it. And they certainly did. So anyway, it's exciting to see that transformation of, okay, I love it, but oh wow, I really can see myself entertaining here or enjoying dinner.
How so that was cool. Fun.
Yeah.
Pavi, I can't thank you enough for jumping on with me. I know that you are a very busy young lady doing lots and lots of transactions, and it's cool to reach out to somebody in Napa where, geez, I mean, it's 10:20 here, it's 9:20 in the morning there. And you look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go, and you didn't drink too much wine last night, and that's good.
Tried not to. Just some
goodness.
bubbles.
So,
Anyway,
if we're looking to find some real estate in the Napa Valley, how would they contact Pavi?
well, you can Google me to find my information, but my cell phone is 707-738-2219. I'm with Engel and Volkers right in St. Helena. We're next to Sunshine Grocery Store. For anyone who's ever visited St. Helena, everyone knows where Sunshine is. And please come visit me and share some wine with me in Napa Valley. I'd love to meet you.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. And everybody, my name, Jeffrey Cloonan with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Colorado properties right here in beautiful Vail Valley. And I want to connect you with her because, gosh, you are such a pleasure to be around. And so I am so happy that we met and that we continue to grow our relationship. And I'm going to get out to Napa. I swear
I'm going to hold you to that.
And
I know you'll love it.
Out myself. I'm going to bring my girlfriend in tow, and we are going to drink some wine with you.
And I promise there'll be good wine and great food.
Good. Well, listen, I'll sign us off here. Thank you so much for coming. Again, everybody, my name is Jeffrey, and if you would like some information on real estate here in the Vail Valley, or you would like some knowledge about the Napa Valley market, please give us a call and we can help you achieve your goals.
Absolutely.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.